Hey there, Stuart from Mount Airy here, and today I wanted to share something, a bit of a confessional. You know what? The end of the year for me was busy, it was tense, a bunch of stuff going on both inside and out of work, and I'll be honest, at times it got a bit too hard. I want to share this because a lot of the times when people record videos like this, they talk just about the upside, all the things that are going well, and I'll be honest, there are times in everybody's life as a business person where it doesn't go so well. And for me personally, particularly in the last year, it got me in a place where I started to ask questions about whether or not I could cope. And I mean, I started to ask whether I can continue doing this, putting the energy into it. I started to look outside of life and wondering, if I was putting enough balance in my family, in friends. I've been really lucky over the last 12 months that I've had the opportunity to actually spend some time working with a performance coach on mindset. I've always kind of been a real systems kind of guy, someone who thought that the key always to building a business is systems, processes, and really understanding how things work. I've always put mindset to one side. But there comes a point, if you want to do something amazing and want to build a great business and push people around you, how your mindset is, how you, have the self-talk to yourself, the messages, the stories you tell yourself become increasingly important. Over Christmas, it got to a point where I realized that some of the stories I was telling myself about the future, about what was going on right now, about the successes or the failures that were going on around me weren't actually indicative of what was going on. And in many cases, I don't know if you've had this experience, when you take a step back and you realize there are stories you tell yourself, you start to get a new perspective. I think anybody who wants to do something, whether it's build an amazing business or build an amazing life for yourself, there comes a point in time where mindset becomes important. For me, it's an ongoing thing. It's a kind of work and really rewiring some of those conversations that we almost automatically have with each other. I wanted to mention this because, as well as aiming to do things right and share some of the upsides, I think it's also key sometimes to share that things don't always go right. And sometimes, there is a human element where we have to step back and realize that, sometimes the way we're made as people isn't always conducive to what we want to do. And that holds us back. Look, I'm running a webinar with Ben in about a week's time, and he's going to go through a whole bunch of stuff around how to have confidence in what you're doing, in your advice, how to get the right mindset to begin the year. If mindset is something you're interested in, and it's something I'm very interested in for a whole bunch of reasons, frankly, if you have goals to produce a high-performing business, it's something you should be interested in. I'd love you to join me. Ben is, I think, one of the most outstanding performance coaches. He's worked with a number of coaches and really well-known people. And I think you'd get a lot of benefit. Well, I've got a lot of benefit out of it, and I hope you would too. So Ben's coming up, I think, in about a week's time, and I'd love you to join me. But for anybody who is kind of wondering about the mindset piece, my advice to you is really start to look at it, particularly when things get hard. There's a great book as well by Seth Godin called The Dip, which has always been really useful. Anyway, I wanted to share this because in amongst the unicorns and rainbows, I have a 4-year-old daughter, so there's plenty of unicorns and rainbows. Sometimes there's those moments where you don't think things are going so well. And the ability to step back and really understand that sometimes the stories you tell yourself aren't necessarily the truth is important. Anyway, Stuart Bell here, signing off. Have a great week.